What's up? It is Sophie. Welcome back to a new video. Today, I know I sound pretty different, maybe. I don't really know. I can't tell. My allergies are terrible. I'm gonna have to blow my nose like 800 times during this video. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about something that's really important to me, something that I have been fighting and dealing with since I was in 3rd grade. Yes, since I was 9 years old, I have been dealing with the issue of dress code in schools. When I was in 3rd grade, my teacher lined all of the girls up in the hallway and had us put our hands at our sides, and basically if our shorts or skirts were shorter than where our hands reached, she emailed our parents, and my mom got an email from her that night basically saying that at 9 years old, us girls were distracting the boys because our skirts were too short. 9 years old. Ever since that time in 3rd grade, it kept happening. In 4th and 5th grade, there was this one teacher who would always dress code girls for wearing tank tops or anything that was like off the shoulder. And I remember a big trend in those years was to wear a sweater off of one shoulder and then have like a tank top underneath it. And so my friends and I would all always wear that, and we would always get dress coded by her. And I remember just planning on the last day of school, we were all gonna go and wear our sweaters off one shoulder and be like, what you gonna do about it now? Like, can dress code us now because it's the end of school. Me and the other girls in my school, we kept dealing with this through 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and that is when I finally decided to take a stand. That's when I kind of just clicked in my brain. My sister and I were having a conversation like, wow, you know, I've always just hated the dress code and been annoyed by it, but there are actually some serious issues with it that are just really messed up, and that is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I'm really going to try to get through all of the points that I have to make because I have so many, but 8th grade is when I started to basically take my stand on the dress code through social media. I made these super long posts on Facebook and Instagram. They're all still up there. Just be warned that my writing is not the best, but you can read them if you want. I was 14 when I wrote these. Keep in mind, you know, now I'm 17, I'm 3 years older. Going back, I would have written them way differently, but this was an issue that I've always been passionate about, and I don't know, I'm finally making a video on it because of some incidents that happened at school this week. Yeah, let's just get started. In 9th grade, I walked in to my first period biology class, like I did every single day. I was wearing a dress that I had actually borrowed from my sister. It was fairly low cut, but I was also in 9th grade. I did not have big boobs at all. Like, I thought I looked so good. I was like taking mirror selfies like before I got to school. I was like, wow, like I felt good about myself. I felt so good about myself. Actually, I have a picture of the dress, so I'll put it in here. I had written things about the dress code in the past, but this was when I was done because of what I was told that day, basically by a teacher at my school. My biology teacher had dress coded me. He would do this a lot. Like, I felt so targeted in that class because, you know, he would dress code other people, but I felt like it was like a constant attack. Like, I got dress coded so much in that class, like so much, and it was very uncomfortable for me because this was a 40-year-old male person. I was a 14-year-old girl, okay, and being told that my outfit is inappropriate by a man who's 40 and has kids and is probably married, like that, I was so uncomfortable. He basically told me first to go put on a sweater, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have a sweater. And then he was like, okay, then you're going up to, I don't know what to call this teacher. I'm gonna say guidance, just because it was the guidance department. Yeah, he basically said, go up to guidance right now because what you're wearing is extremely inappropriate for school. And I was like, this is very weird. Like, okay, I was kind of used to it at this point, although I think this was one of the first times, honestly, so long ago, but I still remember this day so well. I get up to guidance, and she basically sits me down in her office, and she tells me, Sophie, I'm sorry, but some of your outfits, you just have to understand that they're very distracting to male students and male teachers. Male teachers. Hold up, did you just tell me that my outfit is distracting my 40-year-old male teachers who are likely married, likely have kids, you know, I'm a 14-year-old girl, like I said. Are you seriously gonna sit me down and tell me that I am distracting my male teachers? Honey. For the rest of the year, anytime I had a class with a male teacher, I was extremely uncomfortable, especially that block 1 biology class, because that male teacher was the one who had reported me in the first place. Luckily, that teacher does not work at my school anymore, so don't have to worry about that or having any issues with the school. If a teacher is going to be distracted by a 14-year-old girl's outfit, they should not be working at the school. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion. They should not be working at the school because that is extremely inappropriate and extremely uncomfortable. You know, I'm there for education, and if they're not going to teach me because they're distracted by my outfit or they're looking at me in that certain way, I think it's more of an issue about the teacher rather than the student, okay? All of this leads to a much bigger issue of rape culture and victim blaming that is just so prevalent in our society, and it's a really terrible, terrible thing. But the dress code leads to that. It's adding to rape culture, it's adding to victim blaming, because instead of punishing the male teacher for sexualizing a 14-year-old girl, you were telling the 14-year-old girl that she is the problem, that she needs to change, that she needs to dress a certain way if she doesn't want to be looked at sexually, if she doesn't want to be treated like a sexual object. By saying that my male students are distracted by my outfits, it's adding to that as well. People still use justification like she was wearing a short skirt or she was wearing a revealing outfit as justification for rape. By putting the idea in young people's minds that it is the girl's fault for the reactions that she gets to her outfits, to her body, we are just setting it up for a future where this happens. I hope I'm explaining myself well. It's really hard for me to like get my thoughts out. I'm much better at writing them down, which is why I would write all of my dress code things online and post them online, because I'm just much better at organizing my thoughts that way. But I'm trying here. No one should be blamed for other people's reactions to their body. The dress code teaches us that you should be. With all of this, the dress code is basically creating a learning environment that favors boys' educations over girls' educations, because when you are saying that the girls are a distraction to the boys, they are taking away from the boys' education, the girls are then removed from class. They are either sent home, or their parents have to bring them in something, or they're frankly just taken out of class for 5 minutes to be told that their outfit is inappropriate. Or, you know, I've been called out of class for up to 20 minutes to 30 minutes for dress code issues, just to be lectured on why I need to follow the dress code and why I'm distracting boys and stuff. By taking girls out of class so that the boys aren't distracted, you are basically saying that boys' education is more important. Like, that's honestly what it comes down to. You are removing the distractions, but if the girls are the distractions, then what about their education? Like, I missed valuable class time by being taken out to be lectured on my dress code, on the dress code and stuff. It's basically saying, like, yeah, I don't care that you're trying to learn too. You're distracting the boy who's trying to learn, and clearly the boy, I guess, is more important. I don't know, that's what it says in my opinion. I feel like by saying the girls are distracting the boys, removing the girls from the classroom. And I also want to quickly say that the dress code definitely can affect boys too. I'm not trying to say that it only affects girls. I know a few guys who have gotten dress coded before, but it's just really not on the same level that girls getting dress coded is. At least in my school, a guy wears a tank top and he doesn't get in trouble for it, but if a girl does, a lot of times she will. Okay, so there are a few other issues I want to just touch on about the dress code. The first one being body types and how much it really depends on the person who's wearing the clothes. And you know, the way I look in a certain outfit is going to look very different from someone else. Well, I have had teachers who will just dress code anyone as long as it breaks the technical rule that is written in our agendas. If I'm wearing spaghetti straps, nothing is showing except my shoulders and my collarbone, and they'll still dress code me. But I've also had teachers who will only dress code based on body types. You know, like two people could be wearing the exact same outfit, but if they have different body types, one of them could get dress coded and the other one probably won't. And I mean, that's just teaching these young girls who are very insecure. I mean, maybe they aren't, but when I was you know, 13, 14, 15, I was extremely insecure about my body. You know, I think most people are, because you're growing and you're changing and, you know, dealing with puberty and boobs and all that stuff. So when you're telling these young girls that there's something wrong with their bodies, it's gonna make them even more insecure. It's gonna make them feel even worse about themselves, and that's not, you know, that's not something you want to be teaching these people. You want to be teaching them to love their bodies, to accept themselves the way they are, and to embrace themselves. You can wear whatever you want and you will look fucking good in it, okay? Like, that's the message that I feel like we should be teaching them. And going off my last point, another thing that happens a lot with dress code is that teachers will do it very publicly. They will dress code a student very publicly. This is something I've dealt with so many times, and it's honestly so embarrassing. I think any girl who has been dress coded in front of their entire class has been embarrassed about it. It's getting warm where I live, and so everyone is starting to wear their shorts, their tank tops, you know, all that stuff. And this teacher every single day would announce to the entire class that I needed to go put on a sweater because what I was wearing was inappropriate and breaking the dress code. When you're called out in front of your entire class, that is causing, first of all, so much more of a distraction than if I am sitting quietly doing my work. No one is noticing what I'm wearing. No one is caring until you call me out in front of the entire class, distracting me from doing the work. You know, I'm doing my work. Everyone is gonna look up. Everyone is gonna look at the person that you're calling out, look at their outfit, you know, look them up and down and see, oh. So first off, by calling them out in front of everyone, not only are you drawing more attention to the issue, causing more of a distraction than they were, apparently, you're also embarrassing that person, publicly shaming them, and honestly, that's just messed up. I remember an incident that I got dress coded very, very well. I was in 9th grade. It was in a class, I guess I won't say which class, where basically I was wearing a shirt similar to this, where it was just regular off-the-shoulder shirt. Nothing was showing except my shoulders. And the teacher calls me out in front of the entire class, says, you need to read the dress code in your agenda. Like, you need to go get a sweater. I was like, I'm sorry, like, I don't have one. And she made me stand up in front of the entire class, actually walk to her desk and wear her sweater. And I had to take it home, wash it, and then return it to her the next day. I just remember people were laughing. I was so done. I was like, probably about to cry. I was trying to defend myself, trying to say, like, you don't understand, like, this is so sexist, like, I can't believe you do this. But, you know, every time I try to defend myself, I'm just like, tears. Like, that is just me. I also remember, I think it must have been last year, this is another incident of a teacher basically giving a student one of their clothing items so that they're more covered up. There's a girl and she was dress coded, I guess, for the outfit she was wearing, and this male teacher gave her an extremely oversized shirt, told her that this is what she has to wear for the rest of the day. I know this is another thing that's happened at a lot of other schools. I know at other schools they even have like designated dress code violator shirts, which is just, once again, like public shaming the victim. Luckily at my school we do have new administration and they are changing the dress code, which it's just like, I am so thankful that this is finally happening. At 9th grade, when I was doing like as much as I could to change the dress code, I was on a committee called the Dress Code Committee at my school. It was basically me, a few other students, and the vice principal at the time. We wanted to try to reword the dress code, and you know, the dress code is something that they're not going to just take away in schools because it's problematic and it has issues and it's teaching these terrible mindsets. I just think more people need to know about this and just the reality behind it and the really negative effects that it can have, because I know that there are so many more teachers at my school now who understand this and who don't dress code because of this. And actually the administration at my school, like I said, has changed since most of these events occurred, except the ones that happened to me the past few weeks, like I mentioned. So the dress code at my school has changed, even though in our agendas it still says like, oh, spaghetti straps, tube tops, off the shoulder, short shorts, short skirts, all of that stuff. Like, it lists those like specific things. That is not how it's going to be next year, and that is not how it's supposed to be right now. You know, I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful that the administration has finally realized the issues that there are with the dress code, and you know, is taking action, isn't just gonna let it like keep happening. So I just quickly wanted to throw in some ideas if this is something that's an issue at your school, what you can do to try to change it. And I just want to say, like, even though I tried really hard to change it in the past, I was not ultimately the reason that it was changed. Like what I did, although I think it got a lot of people's attention, really just the change in administration is what led to the change in the dress code at my school. A school nearby mine, they did a dress code protest. They did a walkout where the students walked out of the school, had signs, like anti-dress code stuff. It was huge. Like I just remember in 8th grade hearing about it, and I was like, oh my god, I want our school to do one of those. And I think I actually almost organized one. I did. I set up like a Facebook page and I tried to organize one. You could even do it before school so that you're not technically, you can't get in trouble for missing school, but you're still gonna be getting your message across. Like people are going to see you, they're going to hear what you're saying. Another thing is definitely social media, like spread it around. Like if you get dress coded unfairly, you post about it, you just get as many people to hear about it as you can. Post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram. You just really want people to listen to why it's wrong and to hear you, because ultimately that's like the most important thing you can do, is to just try to get your message out, try to get anyone to listen who will. If you can get someone to listen to you, like, you know, vice principal, principal, whatever, and you can form something like the dress code committee that my school did. Teacher who was in charge of it, he wasn't a teacher, he was a vice principal, he left pretty sure the next year, so it didn't work out. But doing something like that is definitely a good idea. Definitely in the comments section below, let me know what your thoughts are on the dress code, if your school is really bad about dress coding, or if they're becoming better like mine. If you want to see more videos like this on my channel, give a like, you know, subscribe, all that stuff. I will see you guys next video. Thanks for watching till the end. Bye.